Welcome back, everybody, Automotive Inc. Today we have the professional driver back, and he's back in our loaner that we got when Loki's back in the shop for the 100th time. I don't know, I've lost track. Well, this time they gave me a brand new 2024 F-150. Now, this is the STX package with the 2.7. You can have it with the Coyote. You can have it with other engines. It's however you want to build it. Ford has a lot of different configurations. But I brought back the professional driver so he can take it for a spin because he's a big F-150 fan and a big Coyote fan. So we're going to get his impressions. We've driven around it for a little bit. Got to let him have a vibe for it. And we'll talk about a lot of great things. All right, so you're in the 2024. Yours is a 15 F-150
Yep.
Coyote. So 6-speed auto, XLT sport package. So you have a little bit more equipment than this, but you've had XTX packages in the past. What do you think about the 24 STX standard features and package?
I think it's great. You know, it's great value for what you're getting, and they really upped their game as far as the STX goes. So if you're looking for, you know, a great truck without spending a whole lot of money, I think the STX is the way to go. So
yeah, because new for 24, STX gets standard 12-inch productivity, so you get the digital gauges, you get the 12-inch screen with the connected nav system here, free. The standard stereo is actually really good. We listened to that.
yeah, sounds great.
A good safety suite of lane departure assist and warning, parking assist. All of this is standard. I mean, really, the only add-on we thought was the bed liner and the 201A package, which gives you skid plates, which we're assuming is part of the FX4, and everything like that. I mean, I can't even imagine a base truck being this nice. I mean, the seats are nice, and everything. And compared to your first STX, I mean, this is night and day on what's now standard. This would be more like an XLT back in those days.
Yeah, absolutely. Even a well-equipped XLT. And yeah, they've come a long way with the STX package. I've always been a big fan of the STX package, and I think it's great value. And realistically, it's probably all most people would need in a truck. So I think it's a great in-between that Ford has for packages. So.
Yeah, and this one, as far as we can tell, again, with the STX package, console seat, lots of charge ports, tons of storage. I mean, the storage in an F-150 is really insane anyway. I mean, every hidey hole is big enough to put like a watermelon in, it seems like. I mean, they really do it well. And, I mean, it's just a nice riding truck for what it is, too. I mean,
Yes.
You've had an opportunity to probably drive it now about 20 miles. I mean, does this feel nicer than your current truck? Obviously, your truck's got some miles on it now, but initial.
It is. It is smoother, and it feels a little bit plushier. The suspension does, which isn't to say it's, you know, better or worse, but it, you know, in long hauls or, you know, just for overall comfort, it feels great, and it feels good. It's smooth and quiet is what you want.
Yeah, out of what is in essence their work truck trim, this feels very nice and quiet inside and very, very plush, especially with all these amenities that are standard. Again, you can reach over here and click on your full road view of your cameras. If we had more cameras, it would have more views, but I mean, the camera's decent. And again, just the configurability. Now, one thing I gotta ask you, what do you think about these gauges? These are the same ones in the Super Duty.
Yes, I'm not a huge fan of digital. I prefer analog. I'm a little more old school that way, but something like this, it's easy to read. Yeah, I think you can just jump in it and know what is what. So it's pretty user friendly, and you can customize the whole thing, which is great. So you can change out whatever of the smaller gauges you want, and yeah, so far so good. I think I could probably live with that, even though I prefer analog. So it's still not a bad deal.
Yep, and then Ford does give you the range selector. You do have to push the down arrow on the shifter once it's in drive, and then it'll show you what gear you're in.
Yes.
That is a big, huge thing for me. I ding Chevy for it because they don't offer it, and Ram, you got to reset it every time. The Super Duties, it seems to stay up once you turn it on, at least till you cycle the engine off. So definitely something there. Now, again, being the base trim, this thing has a good look on the outside. What do you think of the actual exterior of the 24? I know you said you thought the 23s looked a little bit better. This is kind of look they're going. What do you think of the grill light setup that you got out there?
I'm not a huge fan. I think it's okay. I don't think it's horrible or anything. I do like the previous look a little bit better, but overall, I think it's still not a bad looking truck, and it wouldn't keep me from buying one if I was wanting to purchase one. So, but yeah, overall, it's not bad.
Yeah, they didn't really break the mold this year with the rest of the exterior. It just seemed to be a refresh of taillights, headlights, and grills. So if you go to a Lariat, you get the more nicer looking headlight. But yeah, the front grill is something that's going to take some time to get used to. Mm-hmm. Inside, the truck is in essence the same as the 23.
It looks and feels the same to me.
22.
Yeah.
They have some new colors on the outside, new tones on the inside. I guess I haven't been an STX, but I like this bronze black combo they got going on here.
Yes.
On the door panels, those are nice touches. But yeah, other than the bigger screen and the digital gauges, the dash shape and contour is basically the same. And really, they should just carry this over the Super Duty, because instead of having two different shaped dashes, I think this would be perfect in the Super Duty.
And typically that's what they do. The Super Duties usually follow suit of whatever the F-150 does, even if it's 2 or 3 years later. So, that may still be to come. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Now, when it comes to the F-152, it's been like this for a long time, is Ford gives you so many options when you're building trucks. Mm-hmm. And one thing you got to be careful about is what your needs are in a truck, towing needs and stuff, because unclicking electronic locking rear differential can change so much, but in towability, especially in the Super Duties. But the engine lineup from Ford is pretty in-depth. 2.7, 3.5. No longer a standard 3.5. The 2.7 is the standard engine. Mm-hmm. And it's got a cast iron block. The rest of them are aluminum, but you got the 3.5, the 3.5 output, the Powerboost, Coyote, and then the Raptor engine, which is the 6.2 supercharged, whatever.
Yes.
And all of them are going to come with the 10-speed now. And really, you just want to make sure you get the right gearing. But you're a Coyote guy.
Yes, I am.
So I don't think that anybody out there is going to knock the Coyote or just a good American V8. No turbos, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Lots of horsepower. The Coyote has more horsepower and very similar torque numbers to this one, being a turbo. But there's just something about that V8 rumble that you get from a Coyote, and then just the overall dependability of it. Yours has how many miles on now?
130,000.
130,000. Nothing major.
Nothing major.
Oil changes.
Just regular maintenance. I did have, at about 40,000 miles, I had a water pump go out, but it turns out it was some faulty plastic gear thing inside, and Ford replaced it for free, and they knew all about it. So, but other than that, I literally had no problems with that engine. The thing starts up every morning, gets me to work, and back home again. So, and
returns decent fuel economy with his rear end. We think it's a 331 locker. But decent fuel economy on the highway. You return good fuel economy?
Yes, yeah. Just back and forth to work on a weekly basis. It's high 18s, low 19s. But you get that thing out on the highway, not the interstate. If you get it out on the highway, you can get really close to the mid 20s with that thing. So
you're talking 65 miles an hour.
Yeah, 65 mile an hour, 55. Maybe in and out of small little towns at 30 miles an hour or whatever. I've had a trip down to the Four Corners a few years ago, and I was getting 25.4 miles to the gallon in that Coyote. So, and I haven't really got close to that since, but it shows that it is possible. So,
right. Now, on yours, and then we'll kind of come back to talk about the new Coyote. But personal question: how often do you change your oil? What's your interval? 5,000, 4,000, 7,000? Because I know now they're pushing this 7,000 on an oil change. And I think personally that once we went to those high numbers in oil change miles, they've had more issues with engines ever.
Yes.
So what intervals do you use?
I stick with 5. I think, if I remember right, when I first got the truck, they were recommending 7, which just seemed far-fetched to me, especially for a truck. and especially with these oils they're using now are much thinner. So yeah, I'm right at 5,000 with mine. So
5,000 full synthetic.
It's semi blend, so it's semi synthetic. So.
Okay. All right. Ford Motorcraft?
It is.
Okay,
yeah.
so Motorcraft filters and oil.
Correct.
So for those people that said Motorcraft oils, not the greatest. I'm not really a big fan of any oil necessarily. I think they're all pumped out of the same thing and marketed and sold.
Yes.
But there you go. A lot of miles on that. Now, interesting enough, when you come to the new side of the Coyote and these new engines, taking out the supercharged one and taking out the Powerboost, Ford's figured out some way for all these engines to get about the same fuel economy. So this one's rated like 23 highway. The week and a half or 2 weeks I had the Coyote and the 23. It got 23. And then in the Powerboost, the 3.5 is about 23. Obviously, the standard Powerboost. No, Powerboost is the hybrid. Gosh, there's so many engine choices. You got to watch out here. The Powerboost was like right around 27 and stuff. So
yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, so I think, when you look at the engines and the way you can build it, have the dual exhaust if you want. That's a cool feature.
Yeah, that is cool. That's one of the things I like about this truck is we're trying to figure out how they determine what truck gets the dual exhaust. But this one does have it, and it sounds great. It looks great. Yeah, so if you're gonna order a truck, yeah, I would go ahead and order that dual exhaust. It looks and sounds cool. So
yeah, it does sound really good. And this, again, the 2.7, I've seen that dual exhaust on every trim level, every engine option, but it's dependent on the way the truck was ordered. Is if it has it, it's just a nice look to it. And now that you've been driving this little 2.7, this ain't the first time you've driven a 2.7. Driving back in it, it's only got 325 horsepower, but what do you think?
I think it's a great motor. And when they first came out with this motor, I kind of questioned, I was like, why would you need that motor? But I think it makes more sense now. Like, realistically, I think this motor is probably what most people would need. If you're not towing a lot, if you're not hauling a lot, you're not going to want the big 3.7 or 3.5 EcoBoost, or even a V8 for that matter. So I think this has a great place in the F-150 lineup. So especially if you're not looking to spend a whole lot of money, this is obviously your most inexpensive choice to get. So
yeah, being your base engine used to be the standard 3.5, which in the truck was okay, but it was kind of a dog because it was non-turboed. It was just a 3.5.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
After they dropped that, and this engine I think used to be a $2,000 ad, and now it's your standard engine. Your Coyote is a very small upcharge. Powerboost is a big upcharge, and then the 3.5 and the HO 3.5 are even more upcharges depending on where you want to go. But yeah, I mean, it has a 8,000 pound tow rating, 1,700 pounds of payload, I think is what the sticker said.
It's pretty good.
Returns 23 right now. We're getting 18 over the last 166 miles, and that had a lot of starting, a lot of getting on it. Yeah, it's a good little engine, and 10 speeds, ultra smooth.
Yeah, I do like the 10 speed. I'm used to my 6-speed in my old truck, but if I were to get the new one, I think the 10-speed is a great addition to your overall gearing. So it's nice to have that options, especially when towing. Right, you're gonna want all them extra gears to help you out coming up and down the hills. So.
Yeah. Now, I've talked to him in the past, and he's kind of kicked the idea around of maybe buying a new F-150 someday, especially before they get rid of the Coyote. However, after Ram's faux pas with getting rid of the Hemi, I don't think Ford's going to go anywhere with that Coyote engine anytime soon.
No, and there's been talks about it for quite a long time now, a few years, and I never believed it from day one. It still has almost a cult following, but there is a demand for it as well. A lot of fleet, people and customers like them and use them. So I think the Coyote will still be with us for quite a while. But should that day come, if Ford announces they're going to quit making it, I will order my truck that day with the last V8 in it. So if I were to order a truck right now, it's definitely going to have the Coyote motor in it.
Yeah. And now that his truck's been good, hasn't had any problems, it's going to have some standard maintenance based on its age, like some struts and shocks and stuff like that that's going to need to be replaced. But you really got to take into consideration, is buying a new one worth it, having a car payment again and stuff like that. Now, some of the stuff that's in this is nice, and we've seen it Loki with the more crap, potentially more problems. But if your truck's doing good, like his Coyote, that $2,000-$3,000 you might spend once or every 3 years to maintain it. It's hard to replace that, especially because even his has a backup camera for that year, has the engine he likes. It's a good looking pickup. It's one of the best looking F-150 bodies, especially the front clip I've seen. I love the headlights on that truck, and it's hard to think that, but we've talked about kicking the idea around him. Maybe he would do it or something at some point, or something catastrophically happen, but that's not the issue or anything.
Yes.
But if you were buying today, would you buy this truck? Minus the Coyote.
Yeah, minus. If I had this specific setup with the Coyote motor, yeah, absolutely. I would buy this truck as is right now. I absolutely would. I love the STX package. It's got pretty much everything you need and nothing you don't. So, as far as everything that I personally do, yeah, it would do everything I needed to. So, if I had a couple big trailers, or if I hauled a lot, yeah, I might want to step it up to a maybe different package or something like that. But for everything that I personally do and need, no, this would be perfect for me.
Awesome. Well, there you guys heard it. We got the professional driver out here. As soon as we decide where we're going with the heavy duty truck, we'll have some more news coming up on Loki soon. But we always like to get him out here in anything truck wise. That way he can give us his 2 cents and a lot of input on stuff. And it's always nice to have somebody that owns one, can give us a lot of feedback on it, and we just enjoy having them on the channel. So if you guys like that, make sure you comment below. We'll bring them back for everything you want them to drive. If you want them to drive my unicycle in the garage, we'll even have them back to do that. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to catch you on the next one.